While I am still struggling to get Will's romance to activate, I finally managed to secure Lae'zel. I told you I'd make her love me, or in this case, something kind of like that. So, Lae'zel, what can I say about her? She's demanding, she can be insulting.
Skaketh! Keep your hands off me!
She's usually right about everything on a logical level, not considering the emotional side of things, because, that's not important. It's basically like having a nagging wife that complains about everything you do all of the time, unless you do exactly what she wants you to do. We all know that woman. You kind of feel bad for her husband because he just gets cut down all the time. But, Lae'zel is this woman, with maybe less malicious nastiness. She doesn't mean anything bad towards your character, she just doesn't care what you think. And this isn't really a bad thing. I mean, hey, some people like that. So, as far as the romance goes, the way I've found to activate it is to use her from day one doing all of the things she likes. Try to avoid going out of your way to help people. She doesn't like that. And you can maybe manage to get 2 disapprovals, but more than that, you're going to be too far behind. Play through the game trying to get to level 4 before pushing the main story. Your goal is to get to the Githyanki patrol quest to see most of her personal story, but the Gith are difficult to fight if you're not level 4. Make sure you set up a scenario where the Gith attack your group, and when they're dead, loot the Gith slate. There will be a dialogue in camp afterwards, and I believe this is her final scene for the early access, and what allows you to unlock her romance at the celebration. I also made sure to get her approval too high.
What? A Kithrak demanded my head. He'd deny me a cure. How dare he speak my queen's name? How dare he dishonor her child? Yes, judicious counsel, and vexing given the source. I am a child of Gith. I will abide by protocol and seek the Kresh caretaker, as Vlaakith has taught. And then I will skewer the heretic with his own silver sword.
There is no real flirt leading up to the romance. That dialogue is about the closest you get. As makes sense since we're talking about Lae'zel here. She doesn't seem like the type to flirt, probably more like a just grab your leg and drag you off into some cave to make with the snoo-snoo, but you catch my drift. So when you talk to Lae'zel, the night of the celebrations, she says this.
I have seen the Kithraki tear a screaming Neogi's legs from its belly to fashion into blades, yet they could not match your nerve today. It was enough to drive me to madness. I smell their blood on you still. I smell your sweat. I mean to taste it. Yes, sex. A night such as this calls for flesh to feast on, and I have chosen the sweetest. You know the fortune of my company. Another fortune yet stands before you. A warrior's flesh, rarely tasted. Pah! Think if you must. The chance will pass come light of day.
Well, let's say it's a step up from Mintharo's dominatrix-style romance, but still very demanding and dominant. It seems like there's hope, though, that she may actually soften up a bit, doesn't it? Talking about how my flesh was the sweetest? I mean, that's a compliment, right? You get to see a slight bit extra dialogue here if you say you'll think about it, so I chose that tree for the sake of the video. When you go back to her, she'll meet you with this.
You have given in. Yes. When you lie down for the night, I will come, and I will take what is mine.
I don't know why, but I just think it's funny that she's like, you've given in. All that's left to do is go to sleep now to trigger the next part, but whatever you do, do not even talk to Shadowheart about the possibility of spending the night with her. Once while testing the dialogue trees, I agreed to sleep with Shadowheart before confirming my night with Lae'zel, and she turned me down. She does not like Shadowheart at all, so just stay away from her.
Gith train relentlessly. We know our bodies inside and out.
The scene is a little wonky as of current. Sometimes Lae'zel shows up in the entry to the ruins, and sometimes she's not there at all. Her comment about knowing her body inside and out could be hot, but she doesn't really say it in a way that makes me interested. She could take some lessons from Astarion, that's for sure, but knowing her, she wouldn't be interested.
Let me show you. Close your eyes and submit.
A pause, and then the flicker of a tongue across your neck.
Open. Taste. Good. Lower.
We get to the dreaded under construction scene, but there's actually some audio dialogue here, which is pretty cool. You can submit to her or force her to submit to you, and she doesn't seem to mind much either way. There isn't as much dialogue if you pick the latter option, though. Now we get to the part that I have the most issue with.
You awake in pain. Your back, your hands, even your tongue ache.
It's time to rise. Dawn is upon us. You do look peaked. Very well. Take your moment. Next, we seek purification. I might even lay you again, should my whims so take me. But do not deceive yourself. Our bond runs no deeper. Up now. The sun soon rises.
Every breath, every blink proves exhausting. A long day awaits you.
So I've got to say, I have a major issue with how the narrator reads these lines. The narrator is usually unbiased for the most part, and so this unusual bias makes you feel as though you should agree with her that the tryst was awful and bad and your whole body hurts. I mean, it sounds like you're pretty miserable, waking in pain, your hands and your tongue. As if that weren't enough, it ends with the narrator complaining for you even more. Every breath, every blink proves exhausting and a long day awaits you. If I were working on this game, I would revisit this to make it more reliant on the player's preferences. I fully expect that a character that wants to romance Lae'zel is going to figure she'd be rough and probably love it. There is no way to really confuse what you're getting into with her. And most people are probably liking this very fact and element of her. So why the hell would your character be so miserable afterwards? Why not say your whole body hurts, but it was worth it? You know what I mean? It just doesn't come off as a positive experience at all. I tried every dialogue option with her, and some of them make it so much worse. Like, God forbid you talk to her about making love. She'll come right out and tell you, "Bit, that wasn't love, I was just using you." I really kind of thought that getting to know Lae'zel romantically would show some character development too, like maybe she was a tough cookie on the outside but softened up a smidge for you. And now I'm not talking anything major, I'm talking something like, "I guess I can rely on you in battle," or "You're sort of a competent lover." You know, warming up for Lae'zel. She doesn't seem to have changed her attitude towards you at all though, but I mean at least she's not outright insulting you, so maybe that's something. I've grown to love Lae'zel on a lot of levels though, but the romance scene just left me feeling, I don't know, strange? The narrator's voice as she describes the aftermath of your lovemaking, your lay, just really puts a weird spin on things. If you trigger the part where she says she doesn't love you in the slightest, that puts me off a bit too. I think if you go into it expecting nothing, you'll be fine with the romance. It's fun in a lot of ways, but it's also kind of like taking a ridiculous roller coaster ride at a theme park. Sort of like Mintharo's romance was. I'd love to see this more fleshed out later on. I'd love to see her come to trust and rely on your character more. Maybe not to see you as a lover, but maybe as a partner. Someone she would not leave at the drop of a hat if it suited her. I'd also like to see her actually care about your character more. Like, what if one of her Githyanki brothers or sisters tried to kill you as part of the story? Would she save you if she had to choose? Technically, they already did attack me, but they've attacked her too, so it's hard to say whether it was self-defense or picking a side. Hard to choose when someone's got their blade at your throat, you know? Either way, I think with some work, Lae'zel could be a really worthwhile romance. One that takes a lot of effort to achieve, should definitely offer more than just a passing fling, and there are ways to make her seem more affectionate without actually being lovey-dovey as I mentioned before. What did you think of her romance? Was it lacking? Was it exactly what you thought it would be? Let me know in the comments. You're next, Will. I swear, I don't know why he's got to be so difficult, but I'm coming for you. I will pet that stinking dog every day for a month if I have to. See you guys later.